Being single on Valentine's Day is already loaded, but being neurodivergent and single, that's a whole other level. There's the ads, the happy couple content, the internal spiral of comparison, and then there's this weird emotional contradiction. Part of you is feeling intense emotions, such as longing, rejection sensitivity, overwhelm, and the other part of you feels totally numb, confused, or unsure of what you're supposed to feel at all. If that sounds familiar, you're not broken. You're just processing a high-pressure day with a wonderfully complex brain that feels deeply, reacts quickly, and sometimes struggles to untangle expectation from emotion. This episode is for the AuDHD single people, the ones who feel things deeply, overthink everything, and are sick of being told to just treat yourself and move on. So let's talk about what's actually happening and how to stay grounded when the emotions hit hard. Welcome to AuDHD Bites. Let's get our teeth sunk in, shall we? Valentine's Day is marketed as this neat little box of romantic joy, but for AuDHD brains it can open up a messy emotional spiral, especially if you're single. And here's why. Reason 1. You might care more about Valentine's Day than you want to admit. Even if you don't want a traditional relationship, your brain may still be wired for deep connection. And Valentine's Day pokes at that. It whispers, shouldn't you be with somebody by now? Is this proof that you're too much? Is this proof that you're not enough? Yikes. That's not a flaw. It's your attachment system reacting to emotional cues that suggest connection is happening for others, but not for you. On the face of things, understanding this can sound a little brutal, but understanding this helps because it separates the internalized "I'm not good enough" story from the objective reality, which is that your brain is responding to a perceived threat and not a truth. Whilst our feelings are most definitely valid, often having their roots in a history of not feeling understood, it's important to remind ourselves that feeling bad about being single on a day where everyone else appears to be loved up doesn't define our worth. Reason 2. Valentine's Day can cause rejection sensitivity to flare up. RSD, or Rejection Sensitivity Dysphoria, doesn't need a real rejection to spiral. Just a hint of exclusion, comparison, or imagined criticism can feel like a punch to the gut. It's especially common in AuDHD brains because our nervous systems tend to be more reactive to social threat, especially if we've been misunderstood or invalidated in the past. Knowing about RSD helps you create distance from the spiral. You can say, this feels big, but it might not be about this actual moment. It might be my brain protecting me based on past pain. This type of awareness can soften the blow and bring you back to center. Reason 3. Valentine's Day can make you overthink your entire romantic history. If you're suddenly replaying every awkward crush, every emotional shutdown, every what if, you're not alone. This experience is common for folks with AuDHD because neurodivergent brains often rely on pattern recognition that makes sense of emotion. We often look backwards to prevent future pain. Knowing this can help you say, my brain is trying to solve something it doesn't have enough context for. From this perspective, you can watch the spiral instead of getting dragged into it. Reason 4. Valentine's Day can drag up the exhaustion of masking and touch starvation. If you've been burned by past connection or had to mask heavily in relationships, the idea of dating might feel both draining and desperately wanted. Masking in this context means suppressing and altering your natural ways of communicating, feeling, or expressing yourself in order to fit in with neurotypical norms, especially in early dating, when the fear of being too much or not enough is really, really high. We often mask and try to present ourselves as neurotypical when dating in order to stay safe or feel like we can be accepted. But that need to mask can be exhausting. It builds resentment, erodes authenticity, and makes connection feel unsafe, even if we crave it. And Valentine's Day can resurface that push-pull dynamic. Oosh! That's a laundry list of discomfort around being AuDHD and single on Valentine's Day. But one of the things that's true about all of my videos is that I'm not trying to highlight the 1,000,001 things we feel bad about. I'm always highlighting experience so that we can acknowledge that experience and reframe it so that we can leave these videos feeling empowered. So, let's reframe it. Being single doesn't mean you're unlovable. It doesn't mean you've failed, and it definitely doesn't mean you have to spend Valentine's Day pretending you're fine when you're spiraling. Your brain might be more sensitive to Valentine's Day triggers because it's built to feel deeply, care intensely, and notice every emotional nuance. That's not a flaw. That's a strength that needs care, not pressure. You don't need to escape this day. You just need to meet it on your own terms. So, you know what's coming next. It's strategy time. Strategy 1. Normalise the ache. Even if you're usually fine being single, this day can stir up complicated feelings, especially if you've experienced rejection, masking in past relationships, or unmet needs for connection. Letting the ache exist by acknowledging it doesn't make you weak. It makes you honest. From a psychoeducational lens, this matters because naming emotions reduces their intensity. When you acknowledge this is a hard day for me, your brain shifts from threat mode into processing mode, and that alone can reduce overwhelm and bring a sense of grounding and context. Strategy 2. Make the day mean something different. If the traditional Valentine's story doesn't fit you, write a new one. Call it Comfort Day, a day for sensory comfort, safety, and gentleness. Or Connection Day, where you send a little appreciation to a friend or a family member who's helped you through something. Reclaim the day and make it something where you can honour your past self for surviving, your present self for existing, and your future self for growing in ways that you haven't even seen yet. From a neurodivergent-friendly lens, reclaiming days and rituals in this way creates a sense of agency. It allows you to feel engaged without being forced into a script that doesn't fit you. Small, self-chosen rituals help regulate the nervous system through rhythm and personal meaning. Strategy 3. Curate your inputs. If your brain is already sensitive to social comparison, you don't need to scroll through couple selfies to prove you're okay with being alone. Mute those hashtags, block the ads, turn off the notifications, not out of avoidance, but out of self-respect. From a psychological perspective, this is about protecting your mental bandwidth. AuDHD brains already deal with overstimulation, and emotional input is a form of sensory input too. Reducing exposure gives you space to think your own thoughts. Strategy 4. Remind yourself connection isn't linear. Love doesn't follow a schedule. You're not behind, you're not doing life wrong, and the people sharing big Valentine's moment, they aren't doing anything wrong either. They're just expressing joy, and that's okay too. It doesn't invalidate your experience, and your quieter season doesn't invalidate theirs. Whether you want romantic connection someday, or you're happy flying solo, or you're not even sure how you feel about it all, you're still valid. From a psychoeducational standpoint, remembering that connection unfolds in different ways for different brains can help you unhook from that awful feeling of comparison. Neurodivergent connection styles often grow in depth and meaning over time, not performance. You're worthy of love, and you don't have to prove that by performing or having someone else show up with a Valentine's Day card. So, if Valentine's Day feels raw, lonely, or weirdly intense, you're not alone. These feelings are valid, and they don't make you broken. They make you human. Your value doesn't start when somebody else falls in love with you. You already matter, right now, exactly as you are. This is one of the seasonal specials here on AuDHD Bites, Goth brain guidance for ADHD, autism and AuDHD. And whilst this episode is themed around Valentine's Day, the insights about rejection sensitivity, emotional intensity and redefining rituals apply all year round. Oosh, that was an intense episode. If you've stayed all the way to the end of this episode, please drop a bat emoji in the comment section to let me know who I'm talking to. You've earned those bat wings. Thank you so much for watching and turning up for yourself today. Taking an interest in your experience and needs is a massive step forward in self-compassion and growth. And that, my human friends, is awesome. So, until next time, bye humans!